in case anyone else wants to hear. So Pete just asked if they are allowing all the different levels to work remotely. And as of late, they are starting to change the policy. So like the levels right now are lighting artists, lead artist, which is where I am, supervisor, and then there's head of lighting, and then there's VFX supervisor. They're now been telling a lot of the supervisors that they need to be present on campus and be able to be local. A lot like many of the leads are in Canada, are in Oregon. So we do have a lot of remote leads as well. And right at the studio, we have a hybrid model. So they're asking us, whoever's local, to come in 3 days a week. So that's kind of how it's been lately. And it seems like they're starting to try to move a little more to being on site.
Gotcha. Okay.
For supervisor role. But for lighters and leads, at the moment, they're still hiring remote artists.
Oh, okay. And are they like hiring, or is it kind of just keeping an eye out?
Yeah, right now we just kind of finished our rounds of ramping up for Kung Fu Panda 4. But always keep an eye out because they're always looking for artists. Some artists may leave. Some artists may take a long vacation. So they're always on the lookout. But at the moment, we've kind of ramped down and have our key team.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure with the strikes and all that.
Yeah, so with that, we still seem to be progressing. That they've done a lot of VO already, and their contingency may be just doing scratch and then doing ADR afterwards. So we'll see how it goes. But we're continuing with production.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to hear.
Any other questions out there before I start going into critiques? Okay, so I will get started. I'm gonna start, Pete, since I think you're the last entry, or the first entry, I would say. So this is where your current direction is going. And actually, let me grab where you were previously so we can see.
Sure.
See that. Go into Discord. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is where you were previously, and here we are in our current stage. So I think you've made some great strides. Really love kind of just how a little bit more bright, and we can read the piano off a light over dark background. I think what you could probably do is I really love the exposure that you had in the window previously, and I think you can bring that back. I think it was more of the top planes on the piano were actually too bright, so we couldn't read those against the bright background. So I think instead of darkening it, you can go brighter in the window, like it's very overexposed, and then bring these top planes down to like have a little bit of contrast between the background, so it doesn't like fully blend in. So I think that's the first thing. I also think you can probably bring back some more of that saturation that you had here, just to have a little bit more contrast as well.
Okay.
And then when you bring back this exposure, you can probably add a little bit of diffusion or halation, just a little bit of blooming on the window, like just around here. And I see, is this a volume right here, or is that just diffusion?
No, that's actually an area light that I put behind the curtain
Okay.
to go ahead and kind of give the feeling that there's light seeping through.
Yeah, I think like this. I think this is really nice, like what you have with the curtain. I think once you bring the exposure up and have that brighter than this, that's gonna feel really nice. And from there, you can add a little bit more of like diffusion and blooming behind, just to feel like there's atmosphere in there. It's so, and it'll help like right now she's really reading really well, but it'll just help separate her just a little bit more and add a little bit of
Okay.
sense of like that, because when like you get a really bright source and it's really overexposed, you're gonna have what's known as halation or diffusion. The light just starts to in the lens starts to bloom. So I think you can add some of that in here. And I'll see if I can pull some reference too after we're done too. I think
Okay.
I'm actually liking the read of the mic and the mic stand a little bit more here, because you get a little bit more of that bright or dark over light here. It's start when I squint my eyes, I start to lose it, and it might just be that there's a little bit too much bounce light coming into it, so it starts to flatten out. I think you can take some of that fill down here, so that way it's a little bit more graphic read. Similar to this is starting to look better. It may be a little bit too filled here as well, but this actually reads a little bit better than where we're here. So if you bring that back, I think that'll read a little bit more.
That's actually kind of funny because I had the area light and it was pulled back to light it accidentally lit the mic and
Oh,
I pulled it forward in the bottom one.
yeah, yeah.
So I can push it back and redo that.
And you may not even need to do it in render. You can potentially even do it in comp, like just put like getting a matte for this and then just reducing some of that that area light if you just isolate that AOV.
Okay.
Uh, and then right here, in this image, I was really loving what you were doing here with that really nice. This feels right, like this shaping and warmth feels like halation. Like what if you have a bright source that goes almost white, and then it starts bleeding into those more saturated colors, like as it starts to diffuse. And this was really nice. I think you can bring some of that back in, and that really helps with kind of the grad going from warm to cool colors too. I think that'd be real. I loved what you had this here. So if you're able to bring that back, that would look really nice.
Yeah, that's one of the area lights. So I'll go ahead and bump that up a little bit more.
Okay. And yeah, and I think even like where you're getting the shaping here on the piano, I think we're losing that a little bit down here. And if we're able to get some of those specular hits just to shape these top planes a little bit more, that'll help. That'll help it go a long way. Just little details.
Okay.
I'm loving the shaping that you're getting here, where it just the Terminator. You see how hard your Terminator here is. Now it's getting a little bit softer, and the saturation you're getting into her shirt, that's really nice. I think we can add in a little, like go a little bit lower, like with your bounce light. Let me go back to where your reference was. If we look at the reference right here, what's really nice is you get this sense of those planes on her face. So if we're able to get that light just a little bit, kind of bouncing a little bit more, this is starting to look nice. I think if we're able to just get a little bit more bounce underneath, just on her bottom planes, that'll really sell that there's light coming from below.
All right.
And then the last couple things is I would add a little bit more saturation into her skin, in her fill side, just bringing more of those, like, see how it gets like really kind of pink and warm. I think that's going to really like sell the richness of this shot and bring out some of her, it starts to get a little bit monochromatic. And I think bringing some more of those saturation of like her skin, like more of the local color of her skin tone, just a little bit more pinks into the fills, that's gonna read a little bit more warmth in her skin. And then the same thing with like her hair is like a little bit more platinum blonde, so you're still gonna want to have some of those rich warmths in the fill side of her hair. Let me see if I can pull up some reference for that. Okay, so looking at the images. So I'm just bringing up like platinum blonde hair. And if you look at like, just like even up here, like we have this, like we just have a little bit more warmth in like like when we have a natural local color where there's neutral light. It's still like in the fill side, it still feels warm. So I think that'll, again, it just brings a little bit more warmth to her and selling that, like that very, like it's a very somber moment, but it's about her. So we want to add a little bit more hero lighting or hero like color to her. So you did it here. This looks really nice on her shirt. I think we just need it on her skin and her hair. And then the last little notes is I think I'm feeling like that there's two lights down here. Like if we're able to get a nice grad, and like even if we're able to soften this edge just a little bit, that'll just help this grad a little bit more. And then I would also take this down a bit, maybe about a stop, just so like my eye, because of the contrast, it goes down here first actually, and it's just because we have like very hot versus this darker color, so our eye goes down here more. So I would just bring this down. I think kind of like what you had here was starting to work pretty well. So I'd probably like meet in like the middle and just soften this a bit. And I think that
all right.
I think that's pretty much it. But great progress. I think you've the shaping's looking really nice. Just the brightness of the shot looks great. Yeah. So keep going with that one.
Appreciate it.
And then I'll go on to your next one that you just submitted. So the background looks awesome. great first base of lighting on your character. I think what you can do with her is actually wrap this this key light, or this cool key light, a little bit more, so it starts to, so we can get a little bit of shaping. I think you can bring the fill down. So I'm looking at like this and a little bit of this. So we have this key coming from over here. We have this nice, beautiful lighting, and seeing these top planes of these women. So it'd be nice to get like the lights starting from over here and wrapping this way, and then taking the fill down, just so we can get a little bit more, just a little bit more contrast ratio going on. Right now, as I squint my eyes, things get a little bit flat, but if you can just shape a little bit more from this side and getting a little bit less fill on this side, I think that'll help marry her into the background a bit. And then the last thing what you can do is actually do a vertical grad from bottom to top, where it gets a little bit darker at the bottom and then brighter at the top. So it just helps with like, I've kind of like mentioned this before, but like grads is a huge tool that we use to kind of help lead the eye. So if we darken just a little bit at the bottom, like, and have that grad going to a little bit brighter at the top, that'll help bring us to her eyes a little bit faster. Which takes me to my next note is I would do a little bit of eye work. So like you can see in their eyes, you have this nice specular highlight. You can add that into her eyes as well, just to give it a little bit more life. And then the last thing that you can do is you can probably bring in a little bit more atmosphere, similar to like what's going on back here. Just you can bring in a little bit more atmosphere behind her as well, kind of coming from where this key light is.
All right.
So yeah, those are the initial notes. Great start, and yeah, keep up the great work.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna go on to Sam next. Sam in the chat, I think they're not. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and just give the critique. I think this is looking really cool with these nice God rays coming from above. What I feel like would be really nice is if we get a little bit tighter, smaller frequency in the rays, and almost if we can, it doesn't have to be in the entire background. I think you can kind of frame this area a bit. So let me see if I can get my brush. We kind of get that a little more. We're starting to frame. This is really nice where you have this dark overlight. We see the depth cue coming from this foreground object. I think when I'm looking at this too is I feel like these caustics, or these God rays, can almost attenuate a little bit higher, and then you can go probably a little bit brighter on this rock, have a little bit darker back here, just slightly darker, and a little bit brighter here, so we can just get a little bit of separation. When I'm closing my eyes right now, this is starting to blend a little bit with the background, so it'd be nice to kind of separate this a little bit. These caustics on the rock are really cool. I think you almost could even, like, the chromatic separation is probably maybe a little bit too much, so you might be able to bring that back a bit. I think you can, like, I believe from when I was seeing earlier references is that you have this structure right here, and then there's another one behind it. Like, we have this back here. What would be nice is if you can add a little, like, get a little bit more stepping. So less contrast, more saturation on this one right here, having this a little bit darker. And not saying that you need to change the value for this one, but just bringing this one less contrast here. This is really cool. Loving the caustics here. And then I think with the character, what you can do is add in a little bit more fill and a little bit more saturation. Right now, when I'm looking at the skin tone, it's starting to get a little bit gray. And I feel like you can go a little bit more saturated in this, and then a little bit more fill as well. Just to kind of, just looking at the reference, to kind of like really give that feeling of the light kind of bouncing from bottom up. But yeah, I think that great iteration, and keep on going. All right, Andre, this is yours, and I think first, great next pass. I think what you can do for now on, up until we kind of lock in the look, is you could just work on one frame, and that'll help you iterate a little bit faster in these beginning like look dev stages. I just pulled a frame here. Let me pull in some of your reference. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this over. All right, so this is a great next level. If you know, like, if you want, you don't have to do this, but I think like you could probably keep, just as a juxtaposition, keep these desks like clean, like have these clean, and then he's like the rebel. So just to give a little bit of like juxtaposition in the frame, to kind of show that like he's more of the rebel and compared to like all the other students in the classroom.
Yeah, I tried that. It felt like it was getting bringing the attention to the other desks other than him. But I can try it again and show it to you.
Oh yeah. So that was gonna be my like next. That was gonna be part of the next thing to help keep our eyes away from these two. So that's absolutely a great. Yeah, once we lose this, then you're gonna have this big flat plane change, right? So
yeah,
working from the back, let's just go in the back a little bit. I think you can open up this door, and like it's similar to this, adding some more dimension. If we can see like what's in the hallway, that would be really great, because then that adds another like level of depth. It'd be nice to have.
Yeah. I tried that, but there's nothing out there. So I don't know if it's worthy me spending days building an outside.
Yeah.
The door.
Okay. Well, you could. I know. If you want to just maybe even look on. I think there's a couple sites out there that may have some free models of like maybe lockers or something. If not, totally fine. We can still work with this. If it.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, that could be a good idea. I didn't think about the lockers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to.
Yeah. So either way, totally fine. If you're not able to, we will continue to work within the classroom. The next is the throw pattern you have on the wall. Really cool. I love this. I think what you can probably do is actually we can frame the character a little bit more and have it almost come across a bit. So and then almost have that kind of pattern a little bit, and then what you can do from there is you can start to grad and have this side of the this side of the classroom wall a little bit like, so we'll have our key here and then have a little bit more light here, and then it gets darker to on this direction. You can kind of see it in this example, like where the light is hitting, it's brighter here, and as we go down, it gets a little bit darker. We have that grad, so you can add a little bit of that grad this way, and then you can have a little bit of like bounce on this wall, and then it gets darker this way.
Okay.
And then with the light, so then what we can have is we can have that. I'm gonna go and move this off. So we'll have the light hitting them here, but then what in the foreground you can actually flag off like all of this and keep this in shadow, and then only have him in light here. So that should help us like get our eye away from this desk if like it feels like this the window light is only kind of in this area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then yeah, you can have this a little bit, bring in this a little bit brighter. Looking at this, you can have this just a little bit brighter, and I think you're like looking at like this example, I think your key might be a little bit too bright, or like you can you can take it more so it's a little bit more of like a rim, and then have a like a wrap light, so it's softer, like softer shaping. You see how it's like she's getting hit with like this key here. And then we have this very soft wrap light here, and then we have, and then you can see like you can bring down the fill a little bit more too. So we just get this nice shaping all the way across.
Okay.
And then if we have the lights on above, what would be nice is if you can get a core in here. So like it's brighter, like in this, let me see if I can find an example. What is that? That's fluorescent, right? Okay, so here's kind of an example. You see kind of how there's like the bright center, and then it gets a little bit darker around the edges. You can get, like similar to this too. See how that like it's not like white all the way across. Naturally, it's 3D model, but it does a really good job of showing that there's like a core area, and then it gets a little bit like darker out to the edges. Kind of like see it here as well. It's like, because we don't want them to be this bright, right? Like we want our exposure levels. We don't want, and it might be, you know what? Like since we're in like the daytime, you might even be able to turn these off, the lights off.
Okay.
And that way our eyes actually won't go to the ceiling.
Okay.
And then I feel like you can probably go a little bit deeper with or a little bit more shallow with your DOF. You can probably push that a little bit more.
Okay.
And then afterwards, after you do all of that, you can add in a little bit of vignetting all the way around.
Okay.
And I think those will be like good next steps. Once we start to get in like the shaping of your character, then we can start talking about eyes.
Okay.
But yeah, great next steps, and looking good.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let me bring this back. So, okay, Joey, you're up next.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, so yeah, I know. I'm sure the volumes are frustrating, right?
Yeah, it's not working the way I wanted to,
uh,
so.
could could you actually do me a favor and
hmm
send me your file? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Do you want the Maya file or the nuke file?
I think the Maya file, because I was looking at the volumes,
Maya file?
and I still think like if we look at our volumes here, what we want is
Uh-huh.
we just want it to go dark behind here. We don't want to create like any window pane effect. Um,
I see.
so
Okay.
I'm wondering if maybe what we may have to do is actually put like a black card back here,
Okay.
and try to like and then like uh, turn off shadowing on it. But I'd like to kind of like take a dive in and see like uh, because I was doing some research and I think there is a
Uh-huh.
way to do a cutout. I think it's just there's a couple of steps to do it. Um,
Okay.
so I'd like to kind of like play around with that and see if I can solve that because I haven't been in. You're working in Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't worked with Arnold in a while, probably like
Okay.
6 years. So
Yeah.
I'd love to kind of just take a look because at work for us it's super easy. We
Right,
have
right.
a material that's a cutout and it does it. And I know that's what RenderMan is doing as well. So
Okay. Okay,
but
all right.
I'll take
Do you
a
want to Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
and I can actually yeah, if you want to just send me the file, I can just take a quick look and see if I can uh, find that material too.
Okay. I don't mind if like when you're done with all the critiques, I can kind of just stay at the very end and then I can send you the file and then we can
Oh,
go through it.
or yeah, or we can do like a screen share as well. Like if you want to like jump in your shot, we can potentially do that
Okay.
too afterwards.
Okay,
Uh,
sure.
all right, so let's move on to the lighting and so I think first thing that I'm seeing is I feel like DOF might be broken a bit. Um, so like we see your character uh,
hmm
like very in focus and everything around her
All
is
right.
is like out of focus. So there's like a focal plane that we're not seeing. So like
Yeah. Uh, my Z depth, I think I did. I don't think I did it. I forgot to do it, so
oh
I
okay
added in a
okay
blur node.
okay
But yeah, now I make yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that the depth focus doesn't make sense. Yeah.
okay yeah. So yeah, try in your next round to try to like, and it's not like there's not a ton of DOF in here. Like you can even see in
hmm
your foreground, it's just a little, it's just barely on it, but
Oh, okay.
but you feel it. Like it's just
Right.
like it's not this far, but there's just a slight like amount that's on it. So
Right.
I think that's number one. You can work on that. Um, love how you're getting this cookie in here. This is really this is really nice. I think you can take it off like over here. You can either remove that in comp or try to like remove it in the cookie. But I think you'll want to like leave it to here. And the other thing is you can probably go more saturated in that key. See how like violet and blue, like the that is compared to like what we're seeing on your character and on the ground. Let's bring some more
Right.
saturation into that.
Right.
This is really cool, by the way. Like adding in all these elements, really,
Yeah.
really nice. I think you can add the fill can still go more saturated in the violets. You see how like over here, it's very much like it goes from like those warm orangey tones to pink to violet. In
Okay.
here, it's like those warm tones into like pink tones. So you want to get into like more of those grads from like the orangey to pink, then to the violets.
Right. Okay.
And the same thing here. So you see up here, it's much more saturated, like violet tones. We want to add those in as well. Like if you add in more blue, see how you already have like some of these, like warm reds. With the red and blue, that's going to start getting into the violets.
Okay.
And then I think you can actually add in more fill here too. See how, like if you squint your eyes, like you can still see some value here. When I squint my eyes here, it just goes black. So I think you can bring up some more fill over here.
Okay.
And then I think this is looking great, but I think you can also start adding in a little bit more fill over here. Look at like the like this plane here. It's dark. You have this plane change where it's bright here, and then it's dark here, but we can still see that the plane change. Like it doesn't go black. So there's not a lot of. If you look at in here, the only thing that really looks black to me is like this. Right in here, and then the hair, and maybe up here, maybe up there, but everywhere else it's actually pretty filled, you know. So I think you can start. Okay. You can add some of that in as well.
Okay.
The ground looks great. This is looking really nice. I think you can actually like in the texture, you might be able to bring down that value. Like just almost like averaging it a little bit. So bringing the dark a little bit brighter, and then the brights can go a little bit darker. So it's just like it's like leveling it down a little bit. So
right.
Also, is it just me or is that UV map off?
Let me see. Oh, you're like the distortion a little bit.
Yeah, because part of it goes like towards the windows, and others are going like diagonal and.
Yeah. If you want to check that out, but I'll say this: it wasn't really bothering me, but yeah, if you want to take a look and see if.
Sure. Yeah, I can't remember, but I'll see the UVs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Pete. So like even take a look at like all these planes. So it's like here you still want like you don't want this to be like one of the brighter like tones, right? So my eye is going here, right? Because it's such this big white panel. So if you bring down the value of it and actually add in some more this pink saturation, that's going to help it group with the wall. So you'll also probably want to, if you look at like this, the value of this surfacing, the texture is probably the same. Where it feels this is actually white and this is like a gray. So you might want to like level that off so they're both the same values. So the thing is like we want to group this together.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna go pink tones on this side and then cool tones on this side.
Okay.
And then the same thing like with here. I think this is like another drape, right? So you can probably like go less like if it's red, you can probably go a little bit more neutral, so that way you can pull in a lot more of this color.
Okay. So you want like a bit more neutral color?
Yeah, like you can probably go even this one. See how it goes red? My eye actually goes here because it's such a really like strong saturated color. Like in here, like when you're looking at like this shot, like the red tones they're few and far between. Like they're like scattered and small, and they actually start to like there's not a lot of like contrast to them. So I think you can probably just go a little bit less saturation in it and that can work
Right.
really well. And then and like once this, you bring this up in value and have this, you'll have a dark over light shift,
Okay.
separation.
Okay.
And so I think you can like take those steps, and if we can go over
Sure.
the volume app. Oh yeah, the volume feels a lot better in terms of directionality, by the way.
Okay.
Like, see how it's more parallel lines, similar to this? That's looking a lot better. I think you can probably even soften, like, not soften the, so when I mean by like softening the shadow, you can probably increase the radius of the light. So
Okay.
make it larger. So that's you see how like it's not super sharp. There is a little bit softness to it, where this feels like it's like almost the sun, and it's
Right.
like very sharp shadows. So I think you can soften that a bit.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, great next steps. And then Alex, this huge strides. This is looking really great. Like just removing that that tree here really helps like get our eye back in here a lot more. Moving this tree helps with that composition. Makes this not as busy over here. This is great improvements. Even like all those steps that you've done has been really great. Okay, let's start from the back to the front again. So I think you can probably go even a little bit. You can go a little bit more with like how this volume is, and then you can go like darker on this side.
Okay.
So we get like a dark over light value. See how like the contrast on this? We get like we have this white like light value, and then it's like dark here. That reads a lot really well. When I look at this, I want that it feels like you want to have this a little bit darker, and then have like almost this this a little bit brighter. So just I would squint your eyes and just look at what the values are doing in this area.
Sounds good. I'll work on that.
Yeah, this can like this works really well. Like where this is bright over this value. I think you can actually go like more saturation. Like you can put more blues in your darks. See how like if you look over here, like the darks are really saturated blue, like all in this area. So I think you can like this starts to get a little bit desaturated for me, and I think you can bring in a lot more saturation.
Okay.
Over here, this is looking great. I think you can actually go a little bit darker with your shadows, and then you can go just a little bit brighter with if you're looking at this, a little bit brighter with your highlights and more saturation.
Yeah.
But this is reading really well. I think again, like once you add in more saturation, this is gonna group a little bit better too. Like you see over here how like you have your cool tones, and then it goes against cool tones. Right now it's like more neutral tones against a cool, so it feels it feels like a little bit out of place. Like it separates, but it feels like you want to group that just a little bit more.
Perfect.
This is all looking great. This great with the changes here. It keeps our eye over here. Really nice. Once you add a little more saturation here, this looks good. Trying to squint my eyes a little bit. Yeah, the values here look really nice. I think you can bring in a little bit more atmosphere here, just so you can get a dark. I'm just looking at the read, so I'm looking at ways we can simplify this a bit. So I think you can get like darker over here and then brighter. So kind of, you see like how this is reading? So you have like this really dark shape here, and then it's like lighter here, but it's very simplified. So I think you can simplify some of these shapes like this, like all of these kind of light tones, just simplify it into like this really like one big dark, like almost silhouette. So it's like, I would look at how like what this tree is doing. It's like kind of just this nice dark shape over like over a brighter shape. So try to like simplify and group. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. I'll try this.
This works really well. See how it's like you have like it's grouping nicely because you have this dark shape and then you have the brighter shape here. I think you can actually go a little bit more saturated with the warm tones too. So like think of it as like the light is attenuating. So when it gets when like you look at like a temperature on the Kelvin scale, like when it gets like almost like when your warms get cooler, they get more red. So it's like when they get brighter, they get more neutral. So like as it gets further away, and I think, let me see if I can find an example of that. I think in Brave has a really good Brave fire images. Okay, this does it a bit, but you see how like it's a little bit more neutral. This firelight, it's a little bit more neutral when it's closer, and then as it gets further away, you see how it gets more red.
Yeah.
That'll help with like that like sense of like it's even happening here. You see how it's like more like neutral tone, and then when we get here, it starts to get more red and pink. So I think you can start adding some of that in. And then, you can probably like simplify this a bit. You can take that and make that a little bit darker. You can make this dark here. So it's like, I'm just looking at ways you can like start simplifying this shape. So it's like this dark over light. And then you have like your rim.
Okay.
This is awesome. You see like how your eye is now starting to really like move towards the cabin a bit. That's looking really great. Love that. I think you can over here you can start to grab the warmth or the light down here. Just keep this all cool.
Okay.
Or if you have like this sheen on top, just make it more like within the same tone. Like make it like more monochromatic, so it's within like the blue tones.
I was thinking on raising the camera a little bit to remove some of that foreground. I don't know if it feels a bit too like unused or useless in a sense. Like a little bit.
I'm squinting my eyes just looking at the composition. I don't think so. I think because if we lower the camera, okay, so if we you mean like like raising the camera so like we see less of this?
Yeah, exactly.
I think if you
like,
raise it, what's gonna happen is your house is actually gonna get more centered, like more central composition. And I think right now it's really nice. Like I feel like once this gets darker, like it's gonna help get our eye back up here.
Okay.
So I think like all this is really interesting. I think it's just like what's making it like our eye want to go down here is just the hue contrast. We have a warm over like cool, so your eye kind of wants to stay down here a bit. So once you kind of keep this just like in the cool tones and just like a little bit like and a little bit darker, then our eyes are just gonna like move up just naturally.
Okay, sounds good.
Just moving back here, I think you can add in a little bit more of that of atmosphere on here.
Okay.
Just take it another step. And then the same thing with like saturation. And like you can like what you can do too is like similar to here. See how it's like it feels like there's like almost like a little bit of a light on here. You may be able to add that in, and that might actually help with like the contrast too. Because right now like there's a little bit too much contrast between this and this.
Okay.
And again, you can also work with like your grads. You can have some of that, the fog lower to the ground here, and then have it like get a little bit darker at the top, so it just grads up.
Okay.
This is looking really great. If you can, you might want to like add in a little bit of like a little bit breakup in here.
Yeah.
Because it becomes almost pretty flat. Where if you look at this window, you see how it's like you have like almost where the core is of that light, and then it almost feels like that's coming from maybe like a couple candles, like maybe like a candelabra or something like centerpiece in here, and then it gets a little bit darker around. Just I would add in a little bit more interest in here. Like this is like really kind of interesting. This becomes like a little bit too large of a frequency. I almost want to have a little bit higher frequency of like interest in here.
Okay. Yeah, I can try this.
Other than that, I mean, honestly, that's like huge like step from the last one. And we're starting like the shaping you have on like the snow. This is gorgeous. Like all of this is starting to work really well. I think it's now just tightening up the rest of the environment so it feels like we still have stepping, and it just does it gradually. And then we're just bringing back a lot more of this. Like if I'm looking at here, it just has a lot more like saturation. So I think that's what we want to do is just bring in a little bit more of that saturation.
Okay.
Oh, and the last little thing is like similar to that, like what I was saying, like with this and having that grad up. You can do it with this tree too. You can have like it start with this contrast, and then they just get it a little bit darker at the top. So we want to make it feel like a lot of the atmosphere is lower to the ground, and then it, like as you get higher, like the atmosphere starts to dissipate a little bit, so you feel like a little bit of that like of that vertical grad.
Okay.
You see it here too. It starts to get a little bit darker at the top from the bottom. You know, it's like it's just thinking about how do we add those grads in to kind of like bring us back into the center.
Perfect. I'll work on this.
All right, so I think that is it. Was there any other questions? All right. A great job, everyone. Huge improvements, and looking forward to seeing what you come up with next.
Nice. Thank you, Shane.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could I send you my the volumetric pass?
So I don't at the moment. I don't have Maya Maya license. So if we can maybe.
Should I just share my?
Yeah, if you're able to share your screen, let me actually.
Okay. Let's see if.
I'll stop sharing my screen and make that a little bit easier.
Okay. I'm just gonna wait till it loads.
Yeah, no problem. quick question, Joe. Is there like what are the type of filters that Arnold uses? Is there like for the lights, is there like a rod or something to be able to kind of like dim down a specific area within a box?
Yeah, it has light blockers, if that's what you mean.
Let me see.
Like the squares, like it's like I don't know if that's what you mean.
So I'm looking at like having a volume, like it's like a box.
Yeah.
And then whatever's inside that box, being able to dim it, or like change the color or anything like that.
I think it just dims.
Let me see.
I will have to see. Okay, I just have. So this is just like an A. I don't know if you're looking at.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so what I did for the volumetrics, I just did the AI flat to all the material so that it's black.
Yep.
And then, oh shoot. And to try and I guess darken the windows, I did an opacity map.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's the only way for in Arnold. So and then in the alpha the windows are just black. So
Okay.
that's what I used.
Could you try putting an opacity on the whole entire environment?
Like I would have to go through all of them, but if it might take a while.
Could you are you able to just assign the same?
Oh, it has to be in the oh wait, actually yeah, I think oh, Isaiah doesn't have a opacity map option.
Oh, AI flat doesn't have okay. Let's.
Then I'm gonna have to reassign everything, but I think I did try that, and what happened was that everything became just transparent on the screen, so just like white.
Okay.
And I think that's why I did it this way.
Got it. So let's let me think of another. So with can I see all the filters that you have for like? So there's like for your light, you have like you can do like a barn door. You can do. I'm just trying to remember like the last time.
Yeah, gobo, barn door, light blocker, and light decay.
Oh, okay. We might want to be using the light decay then. Let's see what I'm trying to cheat this.
Yeah, work smarter.
Okay, so we're gonna do a near attenuation on your light. Does it visualize the decay on the light? Can we see the visualization?
I actually don't know. No, I don't think so.
Where can we see where your light is at the moment?
It is like oh, sorry. It kind of does this.
Oh, that's the clipping. So if you change,
it's yeah, it's like at 10. It's like at 1,000,000 right now.
Oh, but
or
take your near clipping plane and put that to like 1.
Oh, but
and then take off auto render clipping. Oh, and that's gonna just do your okay. So yeah, why is your clipping plane?
I have no idea.
Okay, so let's. By chance, is there a ruler to for distance?
I don't know. I don't know that option.
Okay,
A
so
ruler? No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know if.
totally fine. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do this. Are you able to do interactive render? How is it? Does it take a long time to load?
I think it'll be fine. An interactive render. Is it like when you change things, you just like shows right away? Is that what you mean,
Yeah,
or?
yeah, like being able to just render locally, and so we can just see the changes happen interactively.
Oh, oh, oh,
He's talking about the IPR render.
Oh yeah, yes.
yeah.
Thanks,
Oh
Peter.
no, I have it open, but I guess because of Discord, it won't show you. I might have to just
You have
put it
it
on.
set to share the window and not share the screen.
Okay. Oh,
So,
perfect. Okay, I
Uh,
think we can.
uh,
so if you
uh,
stop your stream
oh,
and
the
then you do the share screen, and then you do on the tabs, one says screen, one says window. There you go.
I don't know. Is that better?
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay, so can we?
Okay, great.
Let's go to back to your filter, that decay filter.
Okay. Okay.
And then let's look at that, and then let's. Are there like expressions that you can do on your?
I don't know if that is there.
Okay, no, it's no problem. So what you can do is let's do like near start 4,000 with near end 4,000.
Okay.
Let's go further. Let's go 10,000.
The start.
Yeah, we're gonna do both. Yeah, you
Oh,
can
okay.
you can copy that, and okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so that is cutting that out. Can you take? Okay, so let's pull that back a little bit. So let's go to 6,000. Sorry, this is a little bit.
No, it's okay.
Go to 8.
And maybe 9,000.
Yeah, let's try 9. See it start. We're getting closer. Let's get 8,500. But you see how now like the windows aren't cut out?
Yeah.
That we're starting to get there. Okay, now that you have this, okay, perfect, awesome. The right side is that looks. We can probably go maybe a little bit further. Maybe try 8,750. Okay, right side looks great. Let's let it resolve. Yeah, that's looking great. So now we're going to put a light blocker behind the screen left
Okay. Oh, I see.
window.
Okay. Actually, don't remember how. I actually don't remember where this will pop up, like when you add the light blocker.
Okay.
Actually,
so let's see.
oh, there it is.
Oh, perfect. Oh, so is that? Oh, cool. That's a box. Oh, that's exactly what I want. Never mind. Forget the decay. We're gonna use this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's remove the decay.
Okay. And then just use the box.
We're gonna use the box. So this basically what we're gonna do is like right outside that window, we're just gonna turn. We're just gonna suck out the light.
I see. should have just covered the whole like you want to just like cover the window?
But the scale is going to have to be really large.
Oh, okay. Like this.
Okay, so I'm looking at this and it's not. I'm not seeing it behave.
I might have to adjust the density.
Yeah, the density should be 1, right? Awesome. Okay, so now you're gonna want to take the scale. Okay, can you also like for the windows? Could you put a flat shader on that as well?
So what happens is there's a glass material, and I'm pretty sure if I put a flat on it, it might just completely block the light.
But we can, but then we can turn the, we can turn the shadows off on the glass, right?
Oh,
we can probably light link it.
So like that.
And then does it have let's see. So in the, what's the render object display? Let's see. If you go down in the settings down below where it says object display. Okay, so here we go. Visibility, Arnold, visibility, cast shadows. Let's turn that off.
Sorry.
Second, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, interesting, right? We're getting
on.
Yeah. And then let's do that with the other one as well. So what I'm thinking what's happening is like we're seeing a refraction of the volume out there.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're totally okay. Shut up.
I see. I should have done this before I. Okay, great.
Okay, so
I see.
Let's turn off the light blocker. Let's just like disable it.
Do you actually know the hotkey to disable something? Because I always wondered that. And
I do not. But you can turn the density down to 0 if you want.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boom. That's exactly what we want, right?
Oh, and cash. Like so.
And we cheated.
Cash shadows.
So what was happening is, so you have a huge volume, right?
Right.
And outside, that moonlight is illuminating all of it. So then when you have a glass material and it's refractive and you're looking through it, you're going to see all that light. So what we're saying is we want this window not to be refractive. We just want it to be black, but we still want light to go through it. So
okay.
Can we see just really quick, can we look at your alpha? I just want to make sure that your alpha
is, sure.
Okay, so that is not what we want. Oh, okay, so let's
so how would you want the alpha?
So the alpha should be like, it should be the same thing. It should be a cutout of, like, it should look like this. But what you can do is you can do a cheat and just have your light as a neutral color, as white, and you're getting exactly what you want. So then what you can do is you can shuffle this into your alpha, and use that as your. When we get into, we can go into Nuke after you render this out and everything, and I can show you that.
Sure.
But
so then I shouldn't use the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can turn off. You can make this a completely neutral white light, and then in Nuke you can colorize it.
I see. Colors. Okay. I'll just do like, I guess, a test render, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I know it's getting late, and I'm sure you might have work. You have work tomorrow, and I don't wanna. What is it?
No, this is fine.
Take your time.
How long is your render take?
If I'm just, I'll probably just do a really like quick render just so I know what to do.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So okay. Um.
You're starting to
Okay.
now you can start to see look behind the curtain, and not everything has to be physically accurate.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize you could do that with just like deleting the cache shadows or turning off the cache shadows.
So what I
Awesome.
would do later is I'd probably add a decay to your actual um, to your light, so that way it like you saw how the rays were super it was like the same all the way through. What you can do is you can add a
Hmm.
decay so it like just softens as it like gets to the ground, similar to
Right.
like what the reference shows. All right, into new.
Uh. Uh. Hmm. Oh, sorry. I.
No, you're totally okay.
Oh. Let me just let nuke load and then. Oh no. Oh, there it is. Oh my. Sorry, my computer is kind of lagging right now.
Do we, by chance, do you still have the interactive render going right now?
No, I closed it.
Okay, just want.
I think it was just my file might be just big. Jeez. Yeah, okay. Sorry, it was
Okay,
shuffling it out.
yeah. So add a shuffle in there.
Okay.
I'm actually so I don't like this shuffle. I'm gonna. This is like one of my. This is,
Okay.
so you can hit X
Uh, X.
and
Oh,
then do capital S and then shuffle all lowercase HUFFLE. Click OK. We're going to an older version of it.
oh, okay, I see.
uh, so
Oh,
delete that one, and then you can shuffle like you can do any of your RGB into your alpha. So you can just do. Uh,
uh, sorry, I don't know how to use this one. Is it do you, uh,
okay, so you can take. Uh, so go to the into
uh-huh.
and then do RGB, and then you can do in the where alpha is, you can do like the red channel. So uh, uh,
Like that?
actually, you keep that one on the same red, and then go down all the way to the bottom where horizontally it says alpha.
Okay.
So and then yeah, click that one right there. So
Like that?
now if you check your alpha, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So now you basically just took your red channel and it's now your alpha channel. Now when you do an
I
over,
see.
you have opacity to it. So
Oh,
instead
okay.
of because if you didn't, it'd be black and you would basically be doing a plus. Um,
Right.
but now you can go and you can grade your you can put a grade node in and you can start grading uh, your volume like cooler, and then you can then you can merge it back in.
Right. Okay. Okay.
If you want, we can do a test right now and see what it looks like. I think you already have
Oh,
a merge there, so we can.
yeah. I actually plussed it in, but I can still try.
And with volumes, here's another tip. A lot of times you do not need to unpremult in premult because we don't want we don't want our alpha to impede on our volume. A lot of times the alpha is way different than what our volume looks like
Oh,
in terms
I see it.
light value. So
Okay.
you can actually disable your unpremult and premult for that.
Okay. Uh, plus.
Let's see. Let's just take a look at it just to make sure that we have.
I did over it.
It's a format. You have to reformat it. You can
Right,
see
right.
it. You can
Yes,
see it
yes.
like that little
Yeah,
tiny.
I forgot this was a lower. Uh, uh,
So let's see. You can.
so the file is
What is it coming in as? It's,
540, I think, and I'm trying to reformat to HD
so you can just
1080.
go like to scale. And actually, let's see. It's formatting to width. You can
Maybe
change that to.
right or
Try,
fill.
I think for now you can do like I think none, and then we'll just do it to scale. Go to scale, and then
Double it.
yeah,
Maybe?
do.
Oh,
Oh, that's at 10.
no.
And then resize. Then you can change your resize back to width. So that seems like it's much smaller than.
Maybe. It might. Maybe it's because this is me. Sorry. Why no?
You can click that and then click the other one and hit Y.
Yeah. I don't know. I did do the wipe, but I don't know why I didn't.
See, it's
Because
bounding box over to B. Okay, so let's look at the top node again, just really quick.
the top node.
Your volume. Okay, 960 by 540. And then it's saying proxy, but we're not doing a proxy. And then okay, now let's look at your look at your original, like your basically your beauty. All the way at the top. Your very top node. Let's view that. Okay, so that's coming in as 4K.
Then.
So you're gonna want to do four times.
Sorry, I don't know. I forgot. Okay.
No, it's totally okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're totally okay. Okay, so the
Okay. I can
but now you can
mess with
see
the
if you
merge,
look
but
at it, it's looking
yeah, but yeah, it's looking the way we want. Or like here. Like something like that, I guess.
yeah, no.
And then I could adjust it.
Now you can adjust it. You can even adjust like you can grade your alpha too if it's too dense. Or you can do that in render. You can make it less dense in render. Like what I tend to do a lot of times is I'll do a lot of quick fixes in Nuke, and then I'll try to replicate that back in Render.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
But
this already is starting to feel closer to what the reference was